concerned with what happens next door. So Chicago residents right now are furious, and they should be furious because this is a joke.
Many Cook County residents are reeling today from a whopping property tax bill that came out late and much higher than expected. Chicago's south and west sides are seeing some of the biggest increases. Our political reporter Chris Ty has more on why downtown may be to blame and what some residents are doing about it.
Why she look so mean? Why she look so mean? She got that face. Why she look like that, yo?
The pain is real here in North Lawndale, where property tax bills are going up on average 98%. In West Garfield Park, it's up over 130%.
Whoa! I just don't want to yell into this into this mic. Woo! God, 130% tax increase in Chicago? Whoa.
And one of the main reasons why is because of what's happening or not happening over there in downtown Chicago, where in the Loop they've collected 129 million fewer property tax dollars this year than they did last year.
My property taxes went up 75.86%. And so
Richard Townsell of North Lawndale has a friend who saw his jump 237%.
my wife and I, we had a budget meeting last week as we were looking at this. You know, does that mean maybe we don't take the vacation we thought we were going to take?
Thank you all for coming.
A frustration that this weekend led to this bill burning, led by the Lawndale Christian Development Corporation, which he is executive director.
It was a Boston Tea Party kind of moment where it's like taxation without representation. What do we do about
Hold on. That's a right movement. Don't say that. That is a right philosophy movement. Boston Tea Party. I've been telling you guys that we're the most heavily taxed country in the world. Sure, we're the most favorable country in the world. We sit at the top, but we're heavily taxed as individuals. Heavily taxed. The tax in our country is not designed for you to go to work and have a W-2. It's designed for you to have a business, to make income, and to run a profit and loss, to have a profit and loss statement, and to invest your proceeds back into your business, into other assets that will make it sustainable, such as real estate. Hence, that's what we're talking about this right now, real estate lunchbox. But some people have totally forgotten. There are so many tax ways to take that business and put that piece of property in the name of your LLC, in the name of your business. Oh, Bo. Don't say taxation without representation. We've been talking about being overly taxed. See, as a conservative, for some of you liberals out there that don't understand, why does a black guy become a conservative? I think I'm a mix between a conservative and a little bit of a independent, or a liberal, a libertarian. I would say I could liberal. Oh God, a libertarian. I struggle to say liberal. Why would I say that? Shame on me to say that. Why would I say that? Why would I say a conservative and an independent or a libertarian? Because as a libertarian, as a conservative, we believe in less taxes. We believe that the government is not responsible for taking care of us. We believe we are supposed to pay less taxes. Why? Because it is the burden of individuals to take care of themselves, not to fuel the government. And in so many different ways, we do understand, and I was having this conversation with a friend of mine, that we are no longer in a straight capitalist society. We are in a society that has has socialist pieces sprinkled around there, from our healthcare system to our social security system to things like that. So I'm of the belief, I truly believe, yeah, that can't be put back in the bag. Okay? The New Deal by FDR, it can't be put back in a bag. And if you don't know what the New Deal is, if you don't know, you need to go do your homework in history. Okay? But if you don't know. So it can't go back into the bag. It's already out. All we can do is curve it all we can do is make sure that the government money doesn't go out supporting uh, people that aren't really supposed to be here. So Chicago's biggest issue is Chicago has a budget that takes care of illegal immigrants and migrants who cross the border illegally, and Chicago is a sanctuary city. Chicago has vowed to take care of those individuals. The Chicago residents are feeling the pain of the decisions of their leadership. Their leadership said, we're going to spend close to $1 billion taking care of illegal immigrants who are living within our city's jurisdiction. And they're commencing to raise the money on big businesses and people like you and me. Leon, why is this a big thing? Because this is a real estate show also. We're just not talking culture and news. We're talking real estate. How does this get back to it? When you notice this happening in your municipality, learn from what Chicago's experiencing and raise your hand, rally together and say, we won't let this happen here. Because they have to now find a way to get close to $1 billion. And they're going to take it from you out of your equity in your home, out of the appreciation of your property, and out of your working ass. Okay? I don't even got to play the clap for that, but I'm going to pay. I'm hold on one second. Hold on.
Congratulations. Well done.
Congratulations. This is what you signed up for. This is what you signed up for. Don't tell me. Let's get back to this.
Not just whine about it.
One idea is to lobby for a state law in Illinois, similar to one in California, that caps property tax hikes at no more than 2% a year. Consider Englewood residents saw an 82% jump this year, an average of $609. In North Lawndale, it was $1,900, and in Garfield Park, it was $2,000.
I think it's incumbent upon us as citizens.
Whoa. Run that back real quick. Wow, those are some numbers, yo. Let's sit on this real quick. There's some numbers. Wow. And I thought Atlanta was experiencing something like this.
Property tax hikes at no more than 2% a year. Consider Englewood residents saw an 82% jump this year, an average of $609. In North Lawndale, it was $1,900, and in Garfield Park, it was $2,000.
Englewood's 82%. I think that number is pretty low right there for 609. North Lawndale up 99%. Garfield Park up 133. I got to say, up from where? Now, if they had a bunch of sales and appreciation also in Chicago, these are some of the areas that appreciated some of the most in Chicago, their percentage still shouldn't be that high. It shouldn't be that high. Even with the appreciation, there still should be a number that they use to not completely blow it out the water. But dang, that's expensive. That's big.
I think it's incumbent upon us as citizens to give our.
So if you're watching this and you don't understand, when they say up $2,003, your tax bill is actually rolled into your monthly payments when you have a mortgage. So most people, the average people, when they get an FHA loan, they're rolling in their tax bill and they're paying a couple of months ahead also in the FHA loan. In this situation, if they have an FHA loan or a conventional loan and they haven't taken care of the principal mortgage insurance, that's the percentage that Fannie Mae, that they say, listen, once you drop under I think it's 85% in value, well, over 85%, that means you've got to at least have 20% in equity to take that PMI off, that principal mortgage insurance off. So at least 20%. So if you can get there by appreciation in some ways and your payment, which happens with most homeowners, okay? Or some people they put enough down where they don't have principal mortgage insurance, so they don't get hit with that. So moving away from that, your taxes are spread throughout 12 months into that monthly payment. And in this situation, you got to consider it. If your taxes are $200 a month, okay, and you're paying $200 a month in taxes, and I'm streaming on the other one right here, so I don't have this in front of me. If you have $200 a month in taxes and your tax bill jumps now by double the amount, 100%, you can see a $200 to $300 increase in your monthly mortgage. You're like, okay, cool, Leon. If you're living in an apartment, that now translates into how much you pay in your rent. Because just because you live in an apartment, you're hit. That building is still a commercial residential establishment. It's still renting you. So don't forget, they don't escape this also. That's why your rent goes up if you're living in a high rise downtown or high rise anywhere or any of those condo places, or if you're just renting from an owner. So before you complain about your rent going up, you got to backtrack and say, how much is this owner now going up in taxes? They may have had some appreciation, or in this case right now in Chicago, they had more than appreciation. They had an influx of immigrants, which forced the city now to flip the bill.
Elected officials, what we want. We should be pressing them around
over to the homeowners.
The bills that we want to see, not waiting for them to come up with a solution.
The problem, County Treasurer Maria Pappas says, is what's happening downtown.
All these high-rises, commercial buildings that you see downtown are unrented because the businesses have left the city. So somebody had to pick it up. So the residents,
they're going to continue leaving the city. And that's the problem we're talking about. So for some of y'all that are hemming and hawing and screaming, when businesses leave the city, you see what's happening. The tax bill goes to the people. For you guys that are in New York, if you're talking about Mandani, as the businesses flush out the city, their objective is going to be reversed. It's gonna come back the other way. They're gonna get hit like a boomerang with what they threw out to hit someone else. Is just gonna circle back and hit you, the person who's standing behind your elected official in New York who put them in there. Okay, and the problem just magnifies.
are picking it up.
Picking it up begrudgingly.
I think government needs to learn how to live in their means, because guess what? You and I don't get a 100% increase on our pay.
Residents burning mad over the way government is spending more than they have. In North Lawndale, Chris Tide, CBS News, Chicago.
So that's not a new thing. This is what's going to happen to New York. This is going to happen to every city that decides it's going to be a sanctuary city. They're going to flip the bill to take care of illegals that come in. They think that the businesses are going to stay there when they're having high crime, which Chicago suffers from, and New York continuously suffers from. They're undermanned in their police department. So this high crime is going to roll over to the homeowners. This is why this is part of the show. This is why this is part of my live stream. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't know anything about my live stream, if you don't know about this channel, you just came by, just like, subscribe, follow. We talk about more of this because it does have an effect. Your political point of view does have an effect. The people you put into office off of your good intentions, which is nothing wrong with having good intentions, it does have an effect. And this is the effect that it has. So when you dummies ignore me, continue to ignore me, I'm just going to show people how to get the bag. And that's what we show you how to do, how to eat in the middle of all of this. Because what's going to end up happening, realtors, though some of y'all that are stuck on stupid or really don't want to acknowledge or feel a certain type of way, if you're not a promoter, you won't find the people out here that have to sell. This is, ding, 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 a wealth transfer.